Suffering from the ever-spreading great injury virus of 2023, the Browns QB carousel threatened to throw off their solid season and put what's been a great defense to waste. But an old man off the street who just so happens to have a Super Bowl MVP has managed to somehow drag them straight to the playoffs. The last few times we've seen Flacco play, he's looked pretty much done. And this wasn't a one-year thing. I mean, man's looked dusted since those days in Denver. But when the coach and player's skill set fits so perfectly, you can see a revival, and even a little bit of magic. When Stefanski was first making a name for himself coordinating Burke Buzzins up in Minnesota, his play-action game was notorious for confusing defenses and taking advantage of his quarterback's big arm. Aiming to replicate that in Cleveland, Stefanski hasn't had much luck converting Watson to the style, and with neither rookie DTR or journeyman PJ Walker faring any better, he had to look outside the team for an answer. Enter Joe Flacco, a man who would have been perfect for this style of play back in 2014. Unfortunately though, it's a whole decade later, and the rust and receding hairline catches up with us all. But apparently, Flacco's time on the street this season was spent in the fountain of youth, and he's operating this Stefanski offense to maybe the highest level it's ever been since he took over as head coach. Let's start with their favorite concept, the play action, as it's a perfect pairing to attack modern defenses. Here, the Texans are in the league's beloved quarter system, but Stefanski's got a beater. Remember, quarters is a leverage-based defense, not straight deep protection, so clever routes can expose it. David Bell will come in motion, changing who's the number 1 and 2 on the near side, shifting the corner Steven Nelson's responsibility over to Amari Cooper. The Browns will go heavy play action, sending only 2 receivers out in patterns. The linebacker and safety are both supposed to watch the 2, but with him staying in to block and play action, it catches the safety flat-footed, letting Cooper in behind. Starting Cooper in the slot means after the motion and adjustment, he still has inside leverage on the corner, and he takes full advantage, drifting slightly wide to push the corner boundary before cutting to the post and torching the secondary. Flacco has a clean pocket thanks to 8 men in protection, launching a bomb, and Cooper does a great job to track it and catch it over his shoulder, flipping the field on the very first play. Attacking the league's other favorite split field coverage here in cover 6, Stefanski finds a way to take advantage of the leverage and give Flacco a one-on-one shot. Elijah Moore will exit motion to the boundary as the ball is snapped, and Flacco will play action to Jerome Ford, again provided with an 8-man protection scheme. Tillman will first sell vertical to make sure the safety has his eyes towards his presence, before curling up in the middle of the field, leaving Elijah Moore the whole boundary to work with. Using that built-up momentum off the motion, he'll push hard at the corner's hips before snapping to the post, and with the corner's leverage pushed way outside, he's panicking to get back close to him. But the post was just a fake, as Moore slices back boundary, bamboozling his man into breaking down, and gets clean in behind. Flacco's got the arm, and maybe even a bit too much, but a great reversing catch gives Moore the reception. Stefanski loves to play against the solo principles that so many defenses operate in as well. Here, the Browns are in 13 personnel with 3 tight ends flanked right and Amari Cooper soloed left outside the numbers. With such a disparity in spacing, most NFL teams will call a solo lock call here, essentially lining this up as man coverage no matter how the rest of the defense is supposed to be operating on. The safety even has some shade to fight against the deep ball, but a terrific route from Cooper shakes Nelson out his boots, and Flacco hits him immediately off the pivot of the play action. And an even heavier look here presented to the Jags, 23 personnel with an extra lineman lined up at fullback. Everything about this screams run, but there's always a play action look in Stefanski's formations, and it's another 8-man protection, 2-man route concept. Absolutely no one picks up Njoku, and an easy find from a clean pocket has the Browns putting 7 to their name. This is just a straight drop play actions though, and Stefanski is perhaps even better known for his boot action and clever usage of pivot rollouts to create confusion and clean space for firing dimes. Again, with an extra lineman on the field, the Browns shift, leaving Cooper outside the numbers on his own. Nobody moves with the shift indicating zone, but again, that single side far split is going to draw the solo lock, and with the safety so far middle, Flacco knows he's got a shot. Flacco play actions the stretch right, before booting out left using the extra lineman at fullback to cut down the backside end. Cooper quickly gets level to his man's hip, then hits him with a stutter step, creating a yard of separation for the big-time throw. Flacco has plenty of time, setting his feet and launching a bomb, giving Cooper a good ball to track and run it in for the score. Going back to the 8 men in the protection, Stefanski draws up a beautiful fake GF counter. The guard and fullback will pull as Flacco in the back simulate counter footwork, but Joe will tuck it on his hip and then roll out left. The routes are coming across the field from his receiver and from his near side H-back, who will get lost in the shuffle and release, curling his route inside his fellow tight end as if he's trying to work across to a linebacker before taking off on the corner route. Both are wide open, and it's another big chunk pickup. On this one, Elijah Moore is motioning to make it a 4 strong side, but will orbit back around his QB, with Flacco faking the pitch toss left, then pivoting out for the rollout right. The motion drags the defenders out to the flat fast, opening an easy inside hook find for Flacco. And the boot action left is a staple. Stefanski's teams regularly pace the league for roll left plays. It's as simple as a hard fake stretch right and a quick pivot into a layered flood concept. And when your QB has that much space, it's real easy to find receivers. Ad break. Gentlemen, listen up, cause it's about to get personal. Y'all ever been ready for some action, but the little guy downstairs was too timid and just wasn't ready to get in the game? It's okay, a lot of folks have been there. Talking about ED can be difficult, but fortunately for everyone affected, it's never been easier to rectify. Blue Chew is a company that provides an easy-to-use online service that gives men access to safe, chewable tablets containing key ingredients that help fight that downstairs dysfunction. These tablets help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexy time at a mere fraction of the typical medication cost. A Blue Chew subscription includes a free online consultation, 24/7 medical support, and a prescription for chewable sildenafil, tadalafil, or vardenafil, with discreet delivery straight to your door every month. Just click the link in our bio to get started and get approved within 24 hours of signing up. It's that easy. If you're battling ED, don't be ashamed, because Blue Chew is here to help you get back in the game. The heavy play-action game is an ideal fit for a guy like Flacco's skill set, but what's absolutely baffling is his newfound ability in movement. Joe wasn't always completely static like he appeared on the Jets, and certainly was capable of some boot action. But this season, we've seen something I don't think we've ever seen. A somehow mobile 38-year-old improvising Joe Flacco. I'm being dead ass. I mean, I had to do a full double take when I saw this on film. The play action is going to do nothing to keep Will Anderson out, but Flacco isn't fazed, frantically skipping to his right to avoid, then with his head up, throws back across his body with pinpoint accuracy while getting lit up. I mean, damn, where this come from? Where you find this at? And look, if it were one highlighted incident, maybe I could chalk it up to a fluke or my eyes deceiving me, but I have a whole folder of these cut-ups. Here against the Jags, the pocket is going to collapse from all angles, giving Flacco a nightmare rush to deal with. Somehow though, he pushes his way off the chaos, escaping outright with the canter, then seeing his big tight end one-on-one and the defender's back to him, throws this back shoulder, allowing him to use his size on the catch. Against the Jets, he somehow bails out against a fearsome rush from his old team, fighting through a hands-to-the-face penalty. He looks as if he's going to tuck it and turn the corner, but then suddenly remembers he's Joe Flacco, keeping his eyes up and finding his back, who's detached from his man. Ford isn't done though, changing gears and then leaving the safety flat-footed, shrugging off another tackle, then lowering his head to break between 2 more to make sure he will not be denied. And we've saved the most ridiculous bullshit for last. Flacco reads the concept wrong and has to reload, but now feels the pressure coming straight up the pocket. Sanders goes to grab him, but Flacco hits him with a 180, spinning out of the grasp, and then while fading back and getting hit, somehow manages to get this to Tillman to move the chain. Yo, that's just ridiculous. It's not all play action and scrambling though. Flacco has tallied a complete improvement at the position, operating with efficiency in the quick game, able to anticipate when receivers are coming open. Dig routes are a great way to attack the middle of the field against split field coverages, as safeties are often in a back pedal to maintain leverage, and underneath defenders are told to leave the vertical routes to them, leaving a giant intermediate space to exploit. Watch Flacco anticipate this through the middle zones, throwing an early dart to Tillman. Needing just a first down to really ice it, Flacco is going to stay unfazed by the all-out blitz, knowing his favorite target is one-on-one. Tall amongst the pressure, Flacco stays in rhythm with his footwork, delivering the ball at the top of his dropback, with Cooper still yet to make his break, putting this ball in the only spot available for the reception. Quarterbacks are taught to watch the weak side safety on the snap, as his rotation will often give away the coverage. And watch Flacco's immediacy here on the trigger when he rolls down, knowing Cooper has the inside leverage and will cut his way open. He throws this with Cooper still 3 steps before his cut. That's fantastic anticipation. And it ain't just heaters. Flacco still displays excellent touch. With Brisker tearing down his left tackle and on the path to crunch his hips, he spots nobody picked up Njoku crossing the middle, floating this over the dropping backers before the rush can get to him, right to his man in stride. And here, against the 2-man, a perfect ball is needed to beat it. Luckily, they have a good route to attack it with Njoku running a stick nod, first climbing the stem, then showing the outside move, before cutting back vertical and working his way between the safeties. Flacco senses the win early and floats up another beautiful touch pass while he's about to get hit, dropping this right in the bucket for the score. And great routes and play design have also helped keep the offense ticking along. Here, Cooper will come in motion to form a stack as the ball is snapped, and he'll release up the sideline as if it's a wheel, before snapping back on the slant as part of a double slant concept. It's a nice easy read for Flacco, and the chains are now reset. This time, the motion opens up an opportunity for Flacco to show us the arm. The receiver will come in motion to create a 1-4 split, and again, Cooper is also ISO'd on his own. Flacco knows exactly where he's going, putting this back shoulder ball to where only his stud receiver can get it. And here's a nice variation of mesh, bringing the hook player on a drag before he sits down, creating another underneath crosser to cause traffic. There's only so many linebackers to distribute the routes, and Moore gets wide open. With all the problems under center, Stefanski has embraced it, deciding to use Wildcat formations and rookie quarterback DTR in sub packages. Here, they bring him in for the 2-pointer, and when nothing is there, he's got the wheels to head for the goal line. Flacco's mobility might have improved, but I'm not quite sure he can pull that off. And this time, he'll be brought in for the 4th and 1 in the Ultra Jumbo set. That's 2 extra linemen, 2 tight ends, and Kareem Hunt. But it's not going to the lone back, as DTR will pivot out of the shotgun on the QB sweeper keeper, an old play from the single wing days. They've got numbers to the edge, and DTR makes sure to find the gap for the first. And here's a play you might have seen everyone copying off each other. Flacco's out wide as Jerome Ford gets ready to catch the snap, sweeping right after receiving the ball. He'll fake the ball to Flacco as if this is a throwback. This is just to hold the defender in place for his blocker, opening up the edge for the score. Now, it's not all perfect, and some of this gunning it downfield just isn't going to work, and it's led to some erraticism that hasn't always made it to the box score. Being willing to launch the ball downfield is certainly a valuable skill, but there is such a thing as being too aggressive. Just inside the 2-minute warning here against Houston, Flacco goes for it all, even though he had 2 receivers open underneath. He'll throw this 53 yards plus the angle, even with the guy coming to take his neck off. But it's still a few yards short, allowing it to be undercut for the easy INT. And more over-aggressiveness gets him here too. And this ball just ain't on. He hasn't got many options, but a heave into double coverage is very rarely an optimal ball to throw. And, well, the predictable outcome occurs. And here, he's just a bit late and misjudges the pace of the ball. Up the seam if you're late, you best throw quick or it ain't gonna be your ball for long. In one of the craziest mid-season QB pickups I think we've ever seen, the Browns are now getting the best quarterback play they've ever received in the Stefanski era. It saved their season, and now the defense has a running partner. The Browns look like a nasty matchup for the whole playoff field. With week 18 off, let's see how they do come playoff time.